After Siddhartha Gautama had reached enlightenment, now as Buddha, he established the goal of helping others through his teachings, so that they could find their way out of suffering. Buddha knew that most people were not prepared to receive such knowledge and pass it on. He looked for those who were better suited to accept his teachings, and then recalled his fellow ascetics. They initially met him with suspicion, believing that he had given up his mission when he stopped fasting. However, they soon realized that the man standing in front of them was no longer the same. He exuded a peaceful energy, filled with love and compassion. The main subject of Buddha's teachings was the Four Great Truths, which have become one of the key themes in the practice of Buddhism. The first is Dukkha, the truth of suffering. It asserts that life is inherently dissatisfying and painful. This does not mean that life is only suffering, but rather that all conditional aspects of existence have an unsatisfactory nature. This encompasses the suffering from pain, sickness, and death, but also refers to the more subtle suffering of impermanence and the inherent unfulfillment of existence. The second truth is the samudaya, the origin of suffering. This identifies the cause of suffering as desire or attachment. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from our unquenchable craving for pleasure, existence, and non-existence. This yearning is rooted in ignorance. It is when there is a misunderstanding or ignorance about the true nature of reality, especially its impermanent nature. The third truth is nirodha, the cessation of suffering. It declares that suffering can be stopped. That is achieved through nirvana, which is a state of ultimate and complete liberation from suffering. Nirvana is not a place, but rather a state of being or accomplishment that is beyond the constraints of conditioned existence. It represents the end of attachment, hatred, and ignorance. The fourth and final truth is magga, the way to the cessation of suffering. It presents the means for ending suffering. This method is the Noble Eightfold Path, which consists of right view, right resolve, right speech, right conduct, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right samadhi. These truths became core foundations in Buddhist doctrine. Helped by his disciples, Buddha's teachings were followed by more and more people. After many journeys, Buddha eventually returned to his homeland and was reunited with his old father and his son Rahula, who became a Buddhist monk. After reaching the age of 80, Buddha declared that it was time to prepare to leave this world and reach final nirvana. He lay down between two flowering trees, gave his last instructions, and began a deep meditation, entering nirvana for the last time. Buddha's body was cremated and his relics dispersed and placed in sacred monuments, which became a place of veneration. Buddhism spread throughout the world, especially in China, Japan, and Korea. Several Buddhist schools and traditions of practice sprang up, but all of them followed the foundations and lessons taught by Buddha, who revealed to the world the path for those seeking enlightenment.